You wake up before your alarm, reach into the dark, and pull to refresh your checking account. Right now, a 24-year-old with $0 is staring at that exact same loading wheel. And somewhere else in the city, a 55-year-old sitting on $3 million is doing the exact same thing. We assume that accumulating wealth is a straight ladder out of anxiety. The truth is, the money doesn't eliminate our cortisol. It just changes what our stress is wearing. At $0, you live in permanent damage control, where one mechanical failure equals total financial catastrophe. Scientists at Princeton actually proved that the cognitive load of financial scarcity costs you roughly 13 IQ points while you're in it. The system makes it biologically harder to escape because you're forced to make life's biggest decisions with the smallest amount of bandwidth available. Scraping together your first $1,000 feels like a major milestone, but mathematically, it won't cover a water heater or an ER visit. It exists as a psychological behavior modification tool to keep you from losing emotional momentum when life breaks something. Hitting $10,000 creates a physical shift in your body. When the mechanic calls to say your transmission needs a $3,200 repair, it doesn't trigger a mental spiral. You just tell them to fix it. That kind of money doesn't buy freedom, but it buys sleep. This entire initial phase is about mastering financial survival skills. You are building the basic muscle memory required to stop living one unlucky Tuesday away from a disaster. By the time you reach $35,000 in liquid savings, you hit a fragile trap. You have a foundational sense of frugality, what you might call couch guilt from agonizing over every purchase, battling the urge to mimic the top 5% lifestyle calibrated into every social media feed. To survive this trap, you have to hit what Charlie Munger called the most brutal threshold in wealth building, the first $100,000. He famously argued you have to do whatever it takes to get there, even if it means walking everywhere and eating with coupons. This chart shows why the initial push is painful. Your personal contributions do the heavy lifting. Market returns contribute little. But crossing that line, a mathematical flip occurs. Compound interest takes the wheel. Returns finally outpace your personal contributions, working harder than you do. Yet mathematical momentum is easily derailed. There are thousands of households bringing in a $250,000 salary, but carrying heavy debt and hiding less than $2,000 in savings. If they lose their job, they only have 4 or 5 days of actual runway. Inside this mechanical era, a high income is entirely useless if it gets outrun by undisciplined behavior. No raise is big enough to save you if you abandon your frugality. Pass $500,000 and you experience a jarring shift. A single 3% daily fluctuation in the market generates or loses more money on paper than the average person makes at their job all month. When you reach the mythical 7-figure mark, reality rarely matches the cultural expectation. We picture yachts anchored in Monaco, but the statistical reality of the American millionaire is much closer to a paid-off house and a renewed Costco membership. Look at Ronald Read. He was a gas station attendant who drove a beat-up subcompact car and held his coat together with a safety pin. When he died in 2014, his safe deposit box revealed $8 million in dividend stocks. He built extreme wealth through quiet compounding while looking entirely ordinary. As net worth climbs past the $2 and $3 million marks, the hedonic treadmill accelerates. The peer group constantly updates. This is why you see households in the top 1% of income describing themselves as living paycheck to paycheck. At these extreme tiers, that 3 a.m. financial stress officially returns. The panic over making rent is replaced by the panic over market crashes or feeling behind, because social comparison is a bottomless well. There is a distinct dividing line on the wealth ladder. Below roughly $100,000, money genuinely and measurably relieves physical suffering. Above that line, money mostly tries to relieve social comparison. The author Joseph Heller was once at a billionaire's party in the Hamptons. A guest pointed out that their host had made more money in a single day than Heller's most famous book ever earned. Heller shrugged and noted he had something the billionaire would never have, the knowledge that he had enough. In practical terms, defining your enough rarely requires extreme 8-figure wealth. It usually looks like a stack of boring index funds, a modest paid-off home, and a Tuesday afternoon where nobody needs your time. So stop chasing arbitrary internet milestones. Calculate your personal number, figure out exactly where you are on the ladder, and find one small way this week to stop leaking money out of your current tier.